Thank you, Sia. So, as you can see, folks, I'm in the company of the directors of the DSA, and I'm delighted to be hosting a conversation with these directors that we have representing our industry. You've heard some of the statistics here today. We recognize the fact that we are in an interesting space when we think about the marketplace. And so, this conversation is really to anchor around some of their thoughts around where they see the industry today, but also where we're going in the future. And so, maybe to kick off this conversation for us today, I'd like to start with you, Lungisa. I mean, from the industry stats that you heard presented here today, what are some of your insights that stands out most to you, where our opportunity lies as you think to the future?
Yeah, yeah. Thanks very much, Rajesh. I think, firstly, I think when I look at the stats that you presented, I think I'm still amazed at the size of our industry. If you talk about almost touching on 5 billion at 4.6 billion, that tells us how big our industry is and how it contributes to the overall society. If you think about it, the compensation we've given to members or to direct sellers over the last year at about 1.1 billion, that's a sizable amount of compensation that the industry is contributing to the society. So those are kind of things that kind of stand out for me when I look at our industry and what it contributes. That tells us how big our industry is and how it contributes to the overall society. Even more so, if you consider all the woman empowerment challenges that we have in the marketplace, to have an industry that represents 81%, represented by 81% women, speaks to me that we're probably one of the industries that are at the forefront of really empowering women in a serious way. So those are the things that come and stick into mind to me, that really as an industry, we're contributing immensely to society in various factors. So that's what sticks out for me when I look at those stats you presented. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and indeed, fantastic. And I think significant progress being made in a very natural way. And thanks to all of our member companies and now over, the hundreds of thousands of direct sellers that we have that make up our industry. I just want to stay in keeping with the statistics. Brandon, I would like to turn to you. I mean, we're seeing strong youth participation. And so, from your perspective, what should the industry be doing to accelerate kind of youth onboarding and the retention of our youth, making sure that they're productive as they chase their goals?
Well, that's a very good question, and thank you very much for that question. For me, when I look at this industry, what it has done for the people in the past and what is the potential for the future is just unbelievable. We are a young continent, especially here in South Africa. We have a lot of young people who are trying by all means to start something. And in our industry, we say, hey, come and join and become part of our industry. And what is exciting for me is that in our industry, we give you the education, the training, the support, the mentorship, which will enable them as they go out, look for jobs, they will be starting to make money at the beginning. And if they don't find a job, guess what? They can start a career through our industry. And meaning that, it means that for them, they have a brighter future. But for the existing distributors that are part of our industry, let me tell you one thing. The youth is the future. Get them on board, help them and support them and guide them and show them the benefits of being part of our industry. And that for our youth, for our future, is going to be much, much more brighter.
Absolutely. Our youth, our tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Yusuf, let me bring you in and changing, the topic slightly. We know that one of our probably the most important priorities and objective for the DSA is strengthening trust. It's all about legitimacy, right? And so, what does the board believe our industry must do to ensure we continue to focus on elevating trust and integrity so that this continues to be a legitimate industry for the consumers at large?
Yeah, Rajesh, thank you for that great question. The core of the DSA is our code of ethics. I mean, our member companies adhere to that code of ethics in such a way that it builds the reputation of our member companies and of the DSA. And when this code is enforced in a clear, transparent way, it helps build trust from the entire industry. And once you have that trust, we then can use that trust and leverage our social media to expand our reach in the country, in the industry, and as a very valuable player in the space in the country. Also, our youth. This is our focus, right? Our youth. And our youth, unlike previous generations, they need social proof. They need proof of transparency. And our board believes that in following this route, if you will, right, we would be capitalizing the most in developing trust and credibility for our industry.
Yeah, thanks for that. I mean, given the strategic importance of this particular topic that Yusuf has very kindly expanded on, is there anyone that would like to build on that?
I think the important part that you just mentioned is about the young people. People today, they want information. They want to make sure that this thing is real. They can go and find out about the product, about the service, and everything that the company provides. And what I like about the DSA is there's so much transparency that we make sure that the companies are all legit, not just only legit. These are companies that are making a difference in South Africa and impacting on lives.
Yes, absolutely.
I'd also say that companies can do a great job by meeting the youth where they are. The youth need an income. They want an income. This is a huge opportunity for them. Set realistic expectations about building a business. Mentorship from the successful generations. I always talk to my field about KISS. Keep it simple. The youth want to understand a model, an income earning opportunity, and it needs to be logical, and it needs to provide a roadmap for future growth. And if our industry and our member companies can achieve that, there is a very, very bright future for the next generation.
I also believe the youth bring a very important element into our industry because they think differently, they operate differently, and it helps in the evolution of our industry. And so not only are we important to the youth, but the youth are just as important to our industry.
Yeah, and that raises an important point. And I think, Max, if I can turn to you for this one, and then we can build on and expand on this conversation. I mean, given that we're seeing what we're seeing from a stats perspective, where we're seeing far more youth being attracted to our industry as one of their income sources, given the fact that many of them are leveraging gig economies, et cetera, and there's the split between younger and older distributors based on age. I'm not talking about tenure, right? This creates an interesting dynamic for where we are in the business today, right? What message do you have, especially for member companies and for our older direct sellers who are listening to us today, who may feel concerned, anxious, or even threatened by what we're seeing in the marketplace insofar as the youth trend is concerned?
I mean, for me, it would be the exact opposite, Raj. I would not feel anxious. I would be extremely excited. I would say this is the greatest opportunity to further expand this business that I've built. So if I'm a more seasoned veteran in the game, I bring knowledge, I bring wisdom, I bring insights. If I can take the next generation of youth who are hungry, the gig economy has exploded. The opportunities are endless. Direct selling is in the perfect position to enable that. So rather than feel that my way is being threatened, is to say, I have a huge opportunity to take my business to the next level. To do that would be to take the youth under your wing, mentorship, setting realistic business plans and goals. There is no such thing as a free lunch in the world. If you want to build a business, you've got to build a business, one brick at a time. Yeah. The existing generation, the seasoned veterans, they know that. They've built this over decades. It's to take that wisdom, to take that knowledge and mentor this next generation who are hungry, full of energy. They're socially very, very social media-wise, very, very well equipped. They can take the existing business and take it to a completely new level. So rather than feel anxious or threatened, I would say to those veterans, sure, this is a big opportunity. And I would be the most excited I've probably been by leveraging the youth and working together. I always believe there doesn't have to be a one or the other. It's taking the best of both and putting it together. Therein lies the secret sauce, at least in my opinion.
Fair.
I mean, I don't think I could have put it any better than Max, to be honest. But just to add in from my side, I think Max is absolutely right, because the way to grow the future is going to be with this youth. So yes, the veterans and the seasoned professionals in this industry have built it over many, many decades, as Max has said. But the future growth lies in integrating with these new young people who will add to existing structures, existing experiences, as Max was saying, existing knowledge, existing mentorship. But the way to grow for the next 30 years, 50, 100 years will need these young people to be part of that system. So I think Max has hit it on the nail, that it's actually a huge opportunity to be part of that, where you could lead the next generation of leaders who also need to be led and mentored. So I think that's where our industry sits at a perfect opportunity. And also access to our industry is so relatively simple compared to many other industries and opportunities to make money out there. So for the young people struggling out there, or even those who are not struggling or looking for extra opportunities, it's not just for strugglers, it's for people who are looking for extra opportunities to make more, to be better off. I think our industry is perfectly positioned for that. So the merger of all these sort of age groups, and there's no sort of industry that plays such a role. We've got all of this all in one, and you can build something amazing. So I think we're in a great position. So that's what I would add in.
Absolutely.
And you have the opportunity to be significant while you're doing it, right?
Absolutely.
So absolutely. Yusuf, Brendan, anything to add?
Yes. You go for it. You go for it, Yusuf.
One thought that occurs to me is, yes, the youth come into our industry, and whether they choose to stay or not in our industry, the most valuable aspect that our industry provides to them is mentorship in the entrepreneurial space.
Yes.
They have seasoned people that are there to guide them. And that is a commodity that no school can teach you.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brendan.
No.
Back to you.
That was a very good point, and I think everybody has mentioned good points here. And I just want to commend the DSA with the UJ project, because we're playing a very important role with students that are still at school, just to try and help them as they are building or starting a career, that they can have something that they can fall back on, that they can create a career through this industry. Not only that, as you mentioned, mentorship and the skills that they get, but what is important for the seasoned veterans and the existing participants in our industry is to allow the youth to grow in that space. But also, when you allow them to grow, make them have fun. Have fun, and not only just have fun, allow them to make mistakes, because that is the best way to learn. As you do something wrong, now you know how to do it better tomorrow. And I can tell you for a fact that there's students that are participating in the UJ projects, they are thoroughly enjoying it. And you can tell that they are already looking at this industry as an industry that will help them in the future.
Love that. Fail forward and keep doing it over and over and over, and you shall master it, right?
There we go.
Excellent. So, folks, we're going to be wrapping up now, and going to turn to each of you just for any final thoughts you'd love to leave our viewers with. So, Max, I'm going to hand over to you, as I'm sure the rest of the directors gather their thoughts very, very quickly.
Look, my love of direct selling is the same as it's always been. It provides an ecosystem with a capital light model. You don't need big money. South Africa, the beauty of South Africa is its entrepreneurial spirit. The direct selling industry and its member companies provide all the infrastructure, the product, the training, the distribution, the point of sale, all the elements needed for successful entrepreneurs to come through. That hasn't changed. It's as true today as it was 30 years ago. It's about blending the generations together. It's taking the best of what the youth brings to the table. It's mentoring them. And I am really excited about the future of direct selling in Southern Africa and in Africa.
Excellent.
Yeah, fantastic, Max. The only thing I'd add, I think, is that, the industry that we're part of is an industry which is open to all. It's very unique to have an industry that doesn't have any age barrier, any educational barrier, any sort of barrier. Max mentioned capital. literally it's an industry that's littered with less barriers in every aspect. There's no 10-year barrier. You can come in fresh and learn, as we've mentioned here. So I think to be in an industry like that, or part of it, is really encouraging in terms of our South African dynamic, Southern African dynamic, where everybody's got an opportunity to access this industry. And I don't think many industries can be able to say that. So I think I'm falling in love as probably one of the younger people in the industry of just what it represents for out there. And we've mentioned a number of the stats that you mentioned, Rajesh, earlier on. It's such a huge industry. And I think people just need to know more about how this industry contributes to society. So I think we're in a great position for future growth. And if we keep working together, bridging the gap between experience, knowledge, skills, getting people better up there, I think the industry is set up for a great future. So thank you.
Thank you, Lungisa.
Thank you. Thank you. Rajesh, thank you for that question. It got me certainly thinking very fast. What I got to say to anybody in our industry, I think I'm going on to 3 decades in our industry now. And there's a reason I stay. I've tried to move off, but the industry keeps calling me back. And the thing that keeps me back, and the thing that I wish to share with everybody, is our industry changes lives. I've seen it, I've lived it, and no doubt it will continue to change lives well after anything, really.
Thank you, Yusuf.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. What I'm going to say is this. We see so many challenges out there. Unemployment, youth not knowing what to do, and even people who lose their jobs, they don't know what to do. This is an industry where we do not say you have to have this and that. As long as you are 18 years and above, be part of this industry. Not only just be part of this industry, you can shape the future of your family, the stories, the testimonies that we hear every day of people who have seen success through our industry, but also shaping the future and making sure that the future is better than what it is right now. And I'm excited about this industry. We have just scratched the surface. We have so much to do. So if you want to be part of something that is significant, that can make an impact, be part of this industry, because definitely you create a legacy for yourself and for the future generations to come.
Thank you, Brendan. And with that, I'd like to thank our board of directors for your perspectives, your thoughts. And folks, there you have it. The industry is on solid ground. We have limitless possibilities. And, I trust that this conversation certainly inspires you as you figure out your plans to scale and move your business onward and upward. Thank you for listening.